quite very sad about what is happening in our country. Jos to Benue, even the southeast. This should not be our lot in Nigeria. There's so much bloodshed like never been seen before. Our rivers now flow with a lot of blood.
Hello, my great and wonderful people. How una day today? I hope all of una day well. Today we get some videos for our table. We're going to be so one quickly the review to you concerning the things we're going to be saying if they happen right now for inside this country, Nigeria. Just as you rightly see one from the introduction, we're going to be saying Rufai Oseni take crack come outside concerning the way when it be say killings for inside this country can become the order of the day. It can become like something when it be say these our politicians can they celebrate, they take joy from. Because of the way when it be said, then themselves, they see and say, not be anything important. Now, I will leave you to watch everything when it be said, Rufai Oseni review during this very broadcast of this very morning. And before we go on, I want to quickly say a very big kudos to Arise News Media for their great works. God bless you for the way when it be said, una take stand to make sure say una speak for the Nigerians when it be said they not get voice. May God reward you bountifully. All right, after this very first one from Rufai Oseni, we equally get others when we so with the review to you one after the other. I bet watch this one first. We'll come back for more.
I'm quite very sad about what is happening in our country. Jos to Benue, even the southeast. This should not be our lot in Nigeria. There's so much bloodshed like never been seen before. Our rivers now flow with a lot of blood. From the blood of an 8-month-old child from Plateau to the blood of innocent people in the southeast, to killings and kidnappings everywhere. This is not the Nigeria we envisage, and this is not the Nigeria we want. And that's why our leaders should not just make pronouncements. We should see action. President Tinubu has the right, as president, to call on the military airheads to do the needful and ensure the full weight of the law is brought on these people. And he should do that. Our state is in crisis as we speak. The killings in Mangu are really, really abhorrent. Another thing the president should do is I think he should call the Plateau State governor, because also this is politically slanted, like our guest said yesterday. All of a sudden, the attacks on Mangu started after April, and the governor had been speaking about this. I think the president should call on the governor to come and brief him more and name some of the actors in this, so that we can have an end to this once and for all. And the National Security Advisor should hold it strong. We must end whatever is going on permanently in the plateau. Because in the last 10, 20 years, almost every area of the plateau has been inundated with crisis. From Riyom to other local government areas, to other parts. Even in Benue, this had been going on since the time of the former governor. The former governor, Autumn, had to even set up a local vigilante team. But apparently killing shows that these people are a lot more powerful. And we can't have people that are more powerful than the state, actors that are more powerful than the state. And that's why I keep begging in Nigerian states. There are some non-state actors that are currently running their mouth everywhere. Let's not embolden them. Let's be careful. Because we are quickly building a Frankenstein in the name of making peace with non-state actors. And when it boomerangs on all of us. We shouldn't have a country where we celebrate militants. Please, President Tinubu, stamp your authority. Let peace be restored to the plateau. Let peace be restored to Benue. Let peace be restored to the southeast. Let peace reign in every part of Nigeria. Let our rivers of blood be turned into rivers of milk and honey. This country is great. and let its greatness show forth and shine forth to every corners of the earth. Enough of the killings. Enough of the bloodshed. Enough of the horror. We'll take your word for it, President Tinubu, but we want to see action. And we'll pray that you get it done. We can't continue to have this in our land.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe you una hear that very one from Rufai Oseni. Now, only prayer we get for this very man, Rufai Oseni, may God protect him and also make his eyes see waiting in the advocate for your own lifetime. And also, we equally pray for those people when they say that they cause the lives of our people to be miserable. May they also see their own reward for their own lifetime. All right, now so we'll talk on concerning this matter. We'll leave you to share your own opinion concerning that one, even as we take you down to this other video. And this video, now the video when it be said, this very lawyer take come outside for this interview to review to the whole world how it be say our lawmakers they make themselves the government of themselves to make laws to make sure that they benefit themselves, and also review in details the things when it be said these people they embezzle when it be said that they leave our people for the hand and the mercy of Boko Haram and bandits. I want to make you hear this man. I bet pay your attention. I'll come back.
So Abati was saying, didn't Serap wade into this matter a couple of months ago, even as regards the governors earning double? That's one. Secondly, can't we all collectively condemn any action by this politician? Because what happened recently, hitherto that 114% increment was supposed to be for members of the judiciary. Then the politicians quickly snuck themselves into the package.
You see, Rufai, let's start from the baseline because Obasanjo talked about the Constitution so that people will truly understand that, usurpation of the Constitution is real here. If you look at paragraph 32 of the third schedule that established the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, it also spells out its functions. And one of them, if you go to paragraph D, determine the remuneration appropriate for political office holder, including the president, vice president, governor, deputy governors, ministers, commissioners, special advisors, legislators, and the holders of the office mentioned in section 84 and 124 of the Constitution, and discharge other functions conferred on the Commission. So you find out that, but a situation where National Assembly members now completely jettison this and say because you are a distinct body, agency, arm of government, and so you have a right to be independent. Your independence does not also amount to you first and foremost fixing your salaries and allowances. In other parts of the world, it's not done anywhere where parliamentarians, fix their own salaries and allowances. They can vote for increment or a reduction in their salaries and allowances depending on the realities of their time. But here, you find out that we are all culpable in this, Rufai, everybody, including the followers. Because if you visit a traditional constituency office daily, if you see the number of people that go there to collect allowances also for problem solving, you will marvel. People just troop in there, sit down, and then you have the honorable member or the senator there dishing out packages and peanuts and handouts. All of this all boils down to part of the costs of governance. But you can ask which one comes first, the chicken or the egg, because if the basics are there, if the legislators and the government take time to fix, social amenities and ensure that there are jobs, opportunity, then there will be no need for all of these handouts. Salary increments, it's not a bad thing in itself. During COVID, some parliamentarians, world over, some took pay cuts, some decided to increase, like in Turkey, they increased the allowances because of the challenging times. Even though it was criticized. In Singapore, Also in Singapore in 2015, there was a vote to increase parliamentarians' allowances because it has not been increased for like 10 years. But in 2020, during the COVID, it was reduced. Even in Japan. In America voted to increase parliamentarians' allowances, salaries and allowances in I think 2010, 2009. In 2010, they voted to a reduction of the allowances. And so you see, it's not a bad thing to vote to increase allowances, but considering the reality of our time, if a study of about 32 countries across the world, Europe, America, and Britain, Nigeria, apart from Singapore, Nigeria is the highest earning, and Nigeria has the highest earning lawmakers with an average of about $479,000 annually. Salaries and allowances, newspaper allowances, and the rest. Just next to that of Singapore. And if you look at the GDP and the economy of Singapore, you can't be comparing it to Nigeria, where you have about 60% of the population in less than $1 a day. Japan has one of the lowest, about $9,000, salaries annually. India has about $15,000 monthly. China, that voted for an increase, that's about 62% rise in 2015, has about 1,635, salaries monthly, and was reduced during COVID. So even in Turkey, it's not as high as that of Nigeria. So it will be disheartening and outrageous display of irresponsibility for anybody at this time to even consider a pay rise for a lawmaker.
Okay, let me ask you. I think, was it 2 years ago that somebody took the matter of the National Assembly members fixing their own allowances to court? 2 prayers. The prayer was one, that it was illegal to do so. I think it was Senator Rufai Oseni that took the matter to court. And then the judge, the presiding judge, Justice Obiozor, ruled that it was illegal to do so. So to that extent, President Obasanjo was stating the right thing. Yes. But in that suit, the second thing was that all the fat allowances that they have fixed for themselves and collected, that the court should rule that they should make a refund. But the judge didn't go in that direction. He just said it was illegal. So what should Nigerians do? Should somebody stand up now and go again and take up that matter and ask that all these lawmakers, the allowances that they have fixed for themselves, both serving and retired senators, should return the money? What do you recommend?
Recently, I read a letter from former governor of Ogun State, Senator Benga Daniel, writing to the pension office to stop his pension as a former governor on the fact that he's currently a serving senator. I think he stated the allowance as $76,000 or so per month. And I was said, as commendable, this is commendable. How many of other senators who are former governors, because we virtually turned Senate to a retirement home for former governors, how many of them have written similar letters to their state's government to stop their allowances? And I did a study I called Pension Pen Chop, where, because then Yari was complaining that his allowances had not been paid just 1 month outside of office when he left as governor. And when I looked at the list of the allowances, 6 cars for former governor, 4 cars for the deputy, and then I look at that of Lagos also, a house in Abuja, a house in Lagos, for the deputy, a house in Lagos, and then 6 policemen, 3 cars to be renewed six cars to be renewed every 3 years, and then medical allowances of up to about 10 million, 100 million per annum. And then I looked at that of Akwa Ibom, a state as poor as Kwara. If you look at the pension law for former governors, people that just served the state for 8 years, I look at that of Akwa Ibom. That of Akwa Ibom was passed in less than 13 days before the current Senate president left office. Edo also had a similar pension law for former governors, humongous allowances, and all of these former governors are now in the Senate. And none of them, I've not seen any letter from any of them saying, I'm now a senator, please cease payment of all of these, my humongous allowances, policemen. And even if you're going to start a car shop, 6 cars for 1 person, and then 4 policemen, 1 DSS, 1 must be a female, of course, for madam. So, and then the problem here is that when you approach the court,
for madam, she must not be too pretty.
Yes, she must not be too pretty,
that's the
so that Oga will not. Yes, so that Oga will not. Yes, there's a former governor, I don't want to mention his name, whose wife accused him of dating her ADC.
His ADC.
Yes, in the southeast. I don't want to mention name, but put 1 or 2 together.
Off your mic.
Yes. So you find out that all of this, the problem here is you go to courts, you get an order. Who enforces the order? Now there's an order requesting all former presidents and federal government to account for Abacha loot. How do you enforce such order against a government, a sitting government? You say account for all the monies that you have earned. And some of this money, they will tell you that it's in the hands of even followers, constituencies, who comes to collect. So how do you now return such money? We've had senators who have been ousted from office, who the court had said all allowances that you've earned illegally should be returned to the federal coffers. And we've not heard that such allowances have been returned. In a situation where even money recovered, we're talking about Abacha loot, 20-something years later, Abacha is still sending us money. I was telling you just now that...
A generous ancestor that is always giving.
Because he's an ancestor now. We're not talking of those that are alive and how much they all have stashed in banks and properties. Because you look at so many properties in Abuja and Lagos, they are funds from politics. So we're not talking about all of those ones. So all of these funds, you need much more than a court order, doc, to be able to recover them, because the people you want to recover them from are the ones that are giving such orders. And the people that you want to recover the money from are the people that will enforce such order. You ask an attorney general who also that order covers to enforce such an order. How do you enforce such order? So we need to go beyond just going to courts to get all this public interest litigation, to get orders. The people truly need to ask themselves, is this the kind of system of government we want to continually run? Nigeria is too bogus for us to run from one spot. And so this idea of now is our turn, is the turn of my people. And so when your people are there, see no evil, hear no evil, and then eat your own, it's like a country that is about to collapse.
All right, my great and wonderful people. Sorry, say we just need to leave you to watch this video to this very extent, because we want to make you understand where we dey and where we dey go, and who carry us reach where we dey today. Shall you hear everything from the mouth of this very man? This one as well a lawyer, so not be just person when they say they pass by where he not understand what they go on. He break everything down to the simplest manner when they say you yourself will still understand what they go on. Now so we talk on this, we not get anything to add to them. We leave them for the hand of God. When the time reach, we'll know whether or not they do the right thing, or now Nigerians when they say it be sent there, now they wrong. All right. Share your opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this very broadcast here. We will see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.